Hey guys, welcome back. Nice to see all of you. Let's see who we have in here. Ching Ching, thanks for tuning in. I don't see Jay. I don't see a lot of the huge. I think I've seen Marooned 5 in here before. How's it going? And welcome new visitors. My name's Martina Markota, and I do pretty much streams every day, a bunch of different topics. I like to do things educational. Yeah, I happen to be a right-winger, so I like to focus on cultural European things and things that I think progress society, push it forward. For example, Sundays is the etiquette stream. I think both the left and the right and culture and society needs to understand this mechanism that we have in place for social cohesion that already exists, and it's called etiquette. We got to bring that back, and that is Sundays. And Mondays is kind of like chill stream, talk about whatever, any little thing going on Twitter or the news or political, just like a chit chat. And then Tuesday is art stream. We do like some art history stuff. It's some interesting things going on in that stream, some good conversation. I am also an artist known as Lady Alchemy, and I was a performer in New York City for like a decade until I got blacklisted because I like Trump, but whatever, that's a story. And but basically I'm an artist, so I like to focus on art, and I think it's important for culture and society. This past Monday we chit-chatted about the importance of art and culture, so that was just our little open-ended chit-chat on Monday. Tuesday was art history. And Wednesday, Thursday is alchemy streams. Since my stage name is Lady Alchemy, yeah, I do like alchemy. So I also studied math at NYU. Hey Jay, okay, Jay's in here, nice. So I am attracted to the natural sciences and things like that, and of course it has its roots in alchemy, and yeah, so with Lady Alchemy, I take alchemical concepts and I bring them to life using aesthetics, and the streams will go through two aspects of alchemy. Wednesday is outer alchemy and Thursday is inner alchemy. Outer alchemy is, they are both important, necessary aspects of alchemy, this duality of the outer and the inner. The outer is the physical alchemy, physical world, things you can touch, elements, chemistry, things like that. And the inner alchemy is like the Carl Jung, the psychological workings of alchemy, and they both work together, and that's why if you just focus on the outer, it's science, and if you just focus on the inner, it's psychology. But together, understanding spiritually and physically the way the world functions is alchemy. Okay, this radiator is a boiling, so I may open a window. I should have made a cappuccino, and now that I thought about it when the intro was happening, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Okay, just open that a little. Might get noisy though. Might get a little noisy. I also wanted to put some earrings on. I don't know, I thought I maybe needed your help or something. You don't see much of my outfit, so I like earrings. At least you guys can see that. We'll go with these babies. Fuck, it's so hot. How's that? All right. I may take them off at some point if they annoy me, but they're doing all right now. Let's see, where are we at? So we are doing Outer Alchemy, and I have the book that we were working on last time, which is one of my Facebook friends. Let me find it. Let's go to the beginning here. Oh, fuck. I don't know how to work this, this Kindle situation. It's really annoying me. Yeah, so this is Mark Stavish. It's The Path of Alchemy. It's a really good book. I will put the link in the description. Let's find it. Hold on. The Path of Alchemy. Mark Stavish. Boom. It's only $10. Not a big deal. Okay. So we were going through this, but it was through the internet. This is my purchased copy, but we were going through it on the internet, and then it only gave you like bits and pieces, and then it like took a bunch of pages away. So we're gonna have to figure out what we went through. But yeah, I think we went through this already. Alchemy, an introduction to the royal art, and why study alchemy. Do you guys remember, Jay? Do you remember where we left off and what we talked about? But I'm pretty sure we kind of went through some of this stuff. But then I don't remember this. This whole alchemy helps us to understand the fundamental unity of the cosmos and our place in it by weaving together the various occult disciplines into a cohesive whole. I don't remember that. Oh my god, this helicopter outside, seriously? I do remember this. Alchemy is ideal for the solo practitioner with limited time who does not have access to or is reluctant to join esoteric groups, because they did mention that. Alchemical products can be stored, and their ability to induce deeper meditative insights, lucid dreams, and spiritual initiation can be repeated without any loss in strength or potency. Okay, I do remember this. Alchemical products are helpful even if the recipient does not believe in energetic healing, magic, or other forms of esotericism. Yeah, and then like the land of Chem, it all starts with Egypt, said to give her name to early alchemy, as Egypt is known as the land of Chem, or the Black Earth. While we attribute Egypt with being the home of alchemy and its god Thoth, or Hermes, and his Greek incarnation with being the father of alchemy, other lands have contributed as well. China and India have highly developed alchemical laboratory traditions that have been practiced in unbroken lines since their inception. Yeah, so when I studied abroad in China in like 2008, 8, I had to write a 10-page paper to get school credit, for being out there. And I was a math major and I hate writing. So I was like, ooh, 10 pages. It's ridiculous. I can't write 10 pages on something. So I always try to approach school with my own insight, not just like get work done just to get stuff done for the class, but to get something out of the class for myself as well. So I often tended to focus on my own personal research, like alchemy and stuff, whenever I had to write papers or do research or do something. So I was like, well, maybe there's something alchemy related in China. And I looked it up, and there was Chinese alchemy and this whole different system, but it's parallels out there. It's really interesting. So I wrote a 10-page paper on that and learned about all that. But I prefer Western alchemy. It's that's my jams, really. Okay, let me just check in on you guys. What are you saying? Jay was doing some homework. Yeah, just bitching about 10-page papers. Yeah, basically. So, where were we with this? Okay, like, I'm getting confused. It keeps skipping around when I use my mouse. And now it's on this side. It is in the West, however, that we see some of the most fascinating aspects of the great art developed here. Here, Babylonian, Chaldean, Egyptian, Greek, Hebrew, and Arabic methods were worked side by side. Arab trade most likely also introduced Chinese and Indian methods into the Middle East and ultimately Europe. These diverse traditions were amalgamated in an attempt to discover the process for creating the Philosopher's Stone, or the Stone of the Wise. Said to conquer the ability to transmute base metals into gold, prolong life, and cure all disease, the Philosopher's Stone was a mineral made most famous by the 14th century French alchemist Nicolas Flamel and his wife Perronel. With it, it is said they created the elixir of immortality and were seen alive 300 years after their recorded deaths. While the kind of mineral work the Flamels undertook is beyond the scope of this text, a few simple experiments with the considerably easier and less dangerous herbal work of alchemy will demonstrate why many thought these extraordinary claims about the Flamels to be true. This idea of a stone or an actual physical object as a means of bringing about dramatic change in the health and, above all, spiritual consciousness of an individual is the basis for most experiments in all three kingdoms. The alchemist will progressively work through. Anyone familiar with the idea of talismans or ritually charging objects such as liquids or metals for a specific purpose already has a sense of how an alchemical tincture or stone functions. Okay. Oh, fuck. What happened? Okay. I have to be careful touching that thing. What's the difference between Chinese alchemy and Western alchemy? I mean, it's like, what's the difference between the English language and Chinese language? It's both language, but they're completely different. Like, ours has letters and we sound things out and whatever, and they have characters and have an innate understanding of what these little drawings mean and that like make sense to them. So it's like completely different, but it is in the same vein alchemy. Like they have cinnabar and like this energy, the chi and the like meridians, and they have their own elements that they use, wood and whatever. I'm not really an expert on the Chinese alchemy stuff, but yeah. The key of all magic, separating the gross from the subtle. Yes, this is part of the Emerald Tablet, separating the gross from subtle, with great... I forget the rest of it. Solve et coagula, separating the gross, solve and combine. Oh no, it's separate gross from solve. Excuse me, sorry, I'm rambling in alchemy. Okay. Like magic, it's kind of loud out there, sorry. Like magic, alchemy seeks to demonstrate the reality of cosmic truths in the daily life of its practitioners. While a nominal amount of Kabbalah and astrology are traditionally studied in concert with practical alchemy, oh my god, shush. Students of any... Okay. Students of any system of magic will quickly see the relationship between magic and alchemy. I'm just gonna wait a second. Let me see what you're saying. Okay. Does transmutation require some form of witchcraft? No, I mean transmutation occurs in nature all the time. It happens naturally. You know, oils turn into things, or plants, matter, or whatever turns into things, transmute and turn into other things all the time. But also things appear to be magic. You know, like it depends on how you define magic. You know what I mean? Okay. Let's go back to this. What was I saying? Okay, students of any system of magic will quickly see the relationship between magic and alchemy. The most obvious and useful of these links being between what we often call natural magic and the creation of specialized herbal, I don't know how to say this word, tinctures? Tinctures. That's how I've always read it. Let's see how we actually say it.
Tinctures.
Tinctures. Okay.
Tinctures.
Okay. Tinctures. Natural magic is the use of astrological and planetary cycles in connection with magical or alchemical experiments to direct the greatest amount of psychic energy with the least amount of effort. When applied to the creation of alchemical products from herbs, the process is known as Spagyrics. It's another word, and is only slightly more complicated than making standard herbal products. The key difference being in the hermetic practice of separating the gross from the subtle. This separation is energetically similar, if not identical, to the process of banishing and invoking done in ritual magic, preparing tools for consecration, and creating a talisman. In an alchemical product, however, once the process of separating, banishing, and recombining, invoking is completed, the process will repeat and continue on its own until the next phase of the work is undertaken. Through the use of simple, well-known astrological and Kabbalistic laws, the process of refining the energetic content and structure of an alchemical product, be it herbal or mineral, will continue on its own after the alchemical has initiated the process. I think I just read the same line twice. This leaves the alchemist time to work on other aspects of his or her development or other alchemical projects. Once made, the energy of the Spagyric product does not dissipate over time, and in some instances it actually increases, unlike the energy of talismans, which must be repeatedly recharged to be of use. I think we read this last time. I remember this. Yeah. Feel like I remember this. But we have a super chat. Hey, Eduardo. Gave 10 Brazilian bucks. Thank you so much. And he said, what have I missed? Well, we're about 28 minutes in, and we are just going over the practical alchemy. So, you know, you're good. Yeah, and I think we went over the stages of the great work and astrology, Middle Ages and Renaissance. Alchemy, healing powers, the use of the Tree of Life. I think we went over... Oh, no, we didn't go over all that. Okay, guys. I might lose you at some points, but, like, if you want to know about alchemy, this is kind of what it's about. So, like, sorry if you think it's boring, but if you want to be some high priest or priestess, then, like, this is it. I feel like we read a little bit of A Fool's Journey. So just as astrology helps us to understand the influence of cycles on energy and matter without having to become astrologers, Kabbalah helps the aspiring alchemist adept to understand the influence of symbols without having to become a full-fledged Kabbalist. However, the unique synthesis that alchemy offers often allows students to become far more skilled in all three areas of study than would have thought possible had an attempt to be made to study them independently. The reason for this is simple. Alchemy is experientially oriented. Thus, what we learn through experience and not memorization. Kabbalah 101, using the Tree of Life with alchemy. The single greatest advantage to using the Tree of Life in connection with alchemy is that it allows for a very neat and practical filing cabinet for ideas. Everything the alchemist, Kabbalist, or astrologer might encounter can find its place in the Tree of Life, and through the tree, map its relationship to every other phenomenon, mental, physical, or psychic, that might or could possibly occur. However, like a filing cabinet or computer in the material world, we don't need to know how everything works in order to take advantage of its benefits. The second most important aspect to using the Tree of Life is that it describes the creation of the universe and therefore everything in it in a simple and direct manner from the perspective of consciousness, then energy, and then finally matter. So it starts with consciousness, an idea, and then it turns into energy, and then finally matter. So it's kind of like the way it flows, creating things. Idea, energy, matter. Idea, energy, matter. That's how, like, the universe came to existence. God first imagined it, and then that spark of creation, the fire of introspection is thinking about it, and then the energy making it happen, and then matter. In Kabbalah and alchemy, creation takes place when the divine mind of God, the Absolute, or in Hebrew, the Ein Sof Or, limitless light, through a series of expansions and contractions, establishes the boundaries of creation as follows. 1. The first world. I don't know how to read Hebrew, so I'm saying he's totally wrong. Maybe I should look it up. It's Adzilith. Let's look this up. How do I highlight that bitch? No, I don't want to highlight. I want to copy. How do I spell it? Atzil. Atzil.
Absolute or absolute is the highest of four worlds in which exists the Kabbalistic Tree of Life.
Absolute. Alright. Where am I? Fuck. Is the most subtle and the closest to the original state of non-existence. This is called the world of fire because of the lively, undefined, and almost uncontrollable nature of fire. So wait, where's the first world? trying to see a graph. Next is Bria, the world of archetypes or forms as our human mind can grasp them. It is symbolized as the world of air and acts as a barrier world between the extremes of world of fire preceding it and the world of water following it. Yetzirah, number 3, or world of water, is highly psychic and emotionally charged world immediately behind the veil of material existence. That's mine. I'm water. We're all of them, by the way, to varying degrees. I'm just saying. Nothing. Never mind. Azaya, number 4, the world of action, is also known as the world of earth because of the solid concrete nature of material life. This world contains physical matter as well as the subtle energy web, or etheric energy, forming physical life, such as the meridians in acupuncture or key lines in dowsing. Okay. Okay, by the way, guys, I forgot in my intro little speech to shill a little bit, so gonna have a little shill break real quick, and to remind everybody that I'm streaming every day, and oh shit, where did that go? And if you like what you see, you can always help me out and help support me by helping out this little graph down here. This is my February goal, and I'd like to get to 45% today. That would keep me on goal for streaming and having this pay some bills, or a bill. So that would be really nice. And yeah, 45 would be ideal. 45% by today, the end of the stream. So, and you can do that by going to the link below it, which is streamlabs.com/Martina Markota TV. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay, what are we doing here? In basic alchemy, plants are used to affect the quality and quantity of energy flow through the world of earth, the physical world, and its etheric structure through the world of water, the astral world. Only mineral alchemy can permanently affect the world of air, allowing access to the world of fire, but that is beyond the scope of this text. Now, I don't know if you guys are following this, but just like what we talk about in what we've been doing the entire time in the other alchemy stream, the inner alchemy stream, so far we are still constantly stuck in the elements. So we've been talking about the elements for a while. So you'll notice when talking about this stuff too, and when we talk about the practical alchemy, it's the same thing. They're talking about 4 things, 4 aspects here. And they're naming them other things, but it's all basically, it's earth, fire, water, air. Like, it's always these 4 things and associations to them. And you can tell the association to them because, like I said, I like water. So, because that one's like what I'm like highly associated to. It's lunar. And if you think about the moon, it's like, wait a minute. The tides, the moon has an effect on water, and it's just like it has all these weird connections. It's emotionally charged, you know. Why are full moons crazy for childbirth or getting locked up or whatever? In this whole werewolf kind of archetype legend is out there, is because there's an effect of the moon on emotions and water and like all these things. So you'll notice this big connection with the elements, and that's why there's like this constant thing. And you'll notice it's elements to elements. You're constantly filing it away, like they mentioned earlier about this filing cabinet. And sometimes you don't know when you need use for the stuff in the filing cabinet, but like it's just putting things, this entire world, into filing cabinets and getting you to understand these 4 elements and how everything in the world can be associated to those 4 elements. And things start to kind of make sense when you start to really understand those 4 elements. So everything's constantly going to be about that. And that's what we are, again, going through with this and understanding this Kabbalistic tree of life is that there's going to be 4 elements associated to all that. And there's a relationship between them. And so that's kind of what this paragraph that I just said, that you're not going to really understand. You have to like innately understand the concept. You can't just like hear it like it's a story. So even me reading it is like, wait, what? I have to stop and think about it. So what do we have? Plants are used to affect the quality and quantity of energy flow through the worlds of Earth, the physical world, and its etheric structure. So Earth, physical world. That makes sense. Earth, it's physical. Water is the astral world. It's the emotional world. Air. What is air? Fuck it, whatever. And then there's fire. Creation occurs in increasingly dense levels of energy matter, from the subtlest fire to the densest earth. Within this context of increasing density, there also arises a series of 10 planes or levels of consciousness known as Sephiroth, or spheres of being. Each Sephiroth is a self-contained world that relates to other self-contained worlds. In this way, they can be understood as countries within their own inhabitants, custom laws, and languages, but they are also connected to other countries that form the Tree of Life. So it's basically like the UN. No, not the UN. Well, I guess the EU or some shit. So this is like the EU. And all the little Sephiroths. The Sephiroths are the circles. You see the circles that are numbered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are the Sephiroths on the Tree of Light. Those are energy worlds that represent stuff in itself, and we'll go through that. These spheres appear on the tree in the following pattern: unity, reflection, polarity, unity, reflection, polarity, unity, and finally materialization. This basic idea of unity, polarity, and synthesis is the basis of Kabbalistic and alchemical practices, and is derived from the observation of nature. So I think this is what they're getting to, is the separate and combine thing. Separate the gross from the subtle, and the solvent coagulate. So like the reflection and polarity thing. Each world reflects to a denser or subtler degree the one before or after it. Each Sephiroth is a reflection in part of what precedes or follows it. However, since each reflection is only partial or slightly distorted, each sphere takes on its own unique characteristics. Only the 4 spheres composing what Kabbalists call the middle pillar have the ability to harmonize or reflect in total all of the energies of creation on some level. It is on these spheres that the alchemist focuses his or her attention in order to create alchemical products that change consciousness. So now that's interesting, because in my comic book, this is where I get some alchemy in there. The character goes upstate to harness her abilities after getting the Mutus Liber and having this book and teaching her alchemy and the ways of the world and what she's about and all that. But she's practices, you'll see upstate, the middle pillar ritual, which is what they're talking about. And if you could see that middle pillar in the graph, can you guys see that? Yeah, this so there's like 2 pillars, and then there's like a thinner one in the middle. That's the middle pillar. So you have the 2, and you'll see on the tarot card, the High Priestess, she is also beside 2 pillars. And so you do this thing of like, this energy is kind of like the magnetic energy of Earth, which is like this energy that kind of rotates around like that, and you bring that center energy is the middle pillar ritual, focusing on both sides of the pillars, and they come together in the middle, which is where you are. And that is all about balance and harmonizing and stuff. And so Lady Alchemy goes up and starts doing middle pillar and getting in tune with her alchemical powers. All this stuff is real. It's awesome. It's going to be so exciting. Let me see what you guys are up to. We got Blaze in here. What's up, Blaze? Yes, Jay Sephiroth. I knew you'd get excited when I said that. We got Fern Report in here. yeah, I'm going to have to go to the bathroom at some point, too. We're 44 minutes in. I'll try to hold it. Where are we at? The use of the Tree of Life has been both a blessing and a curse for modern esotericism. When understood, the tree offers a complete and working model of creation on both the microcosm and macrocosmic scale. However, where many fail is on the personal level, the ability to apply the often very general information of the tree to the personal experiences of the initiate when he or she deals with the psychological phenomena is profoundly lacking in modern esoteric circles. Interesting. The reasons for this are several. First, many modern esotericists simply repeat what they have learned without experiencing whether or not it is true on a personal level. Second, the language of Kabbalah is multi-leveled, with the same word having several meanings, and thus many who are using the words don't know what they actually mean or on what levels they may be interpreted. Third, the diagram of the Tree of Life is simply too neat and compartmentalized, and many Kabbalists are unable to adapt to the fact that interior reality is much more flexible than the tree allows when applied to the two-dimensional page or illustration. Okay, so learn to apply it in your personal life. That makes sense. To help resolve these problems in the transmission of knowledge, only information that has a relationship to the experience of the author or others with whom he has discussed this topic will be included here. Theory will be stated as theory and experience as experience. The meanings of common Kabbalistic words will be defined and redefined to keep the communication clear and direct. An extensive use of confusing and somewhat irrelevant God forms, references to mythology and cosmology unconnected to personal experience will be avoided. All right, thanks for that. In conclusion, anything worth doing takes time and effort. Agreed. Spiritual studies are no different in this regard. Agreed. Just as people must discover for themselves which path is best for them, they must also ask if they are getting the return on their investment that they initially sought. Few systems of development are as mentally, physically, and spiritually rewarding as the alchemical path. Through it, the entire corpus of Western esoteric philosophy and occult practices can be synthesized, understood, and most importantly, effectively applied. Like many genuine paths of spiritual initiation, alchemy is a truly solitary path. We may meet with other alchemists, work with them on occasion, and learn from each other like we're doing here on the stream, but the true work is done alone in our laboratories and within our hearts. No one can open nor bar the gateway for us, and all who simply enter onto the path of alchemy will be better off for it than had they never started. Dare to practice alchemy because it works. Yeah, does that get you pumped or what? Fuck, why does this thing happen? Oh my god, coronavirus, guys. Shut up. Ridiculous. Oop. Okay. Key points. Basic alchemy can be successfully studied and applied by anyone who can follow a simple cooking recipe. Aww. All of the experiments in the path of alchemy, this book, can be done using common household appliances if laboratory glassware is unavailable. Cool. Alchemy is one of the few occult arts and sciences that is objective in its results. Tinctures, elixirs, and other products increase their potency over time. Alchemical products can bring healing in the physical, etheric, and psychic realms. True alchemy is about interior growth or initiation. Successful alchemical experiments bring illumination and spiritual growth. Alchemy incorporates the disciplines of astrology and Kabbalah into itself to form an organic whole, making these areas of study easier to learn and apply. Alchemy offers a tremendous return on investment for the time involved, given the experiences it can bring. Oh, how convincing. General assignments for Chapter 1. Assignments? Jay, you have more homework to do. There's more homework here. All right, what does it say? Obtain one or more notebooks to use as you study, or use a large 3-ring binder with separators for the various sections. Suggested subject headings: alchemical theory, astrology, meditations, outline of experiments, Kabbalah, lab work. As you progress, other topics may occur to you, as well as a means of cross-referencing between sections. However, obtaining and setting up your notebook is fine for now. Reread this chapter and make a list of any concepts that are unclear to you. Keep this list for future reference as you read the remainder of the book and perform the various meditations and experiments. Go to a local university library or online and look up the following articles. Ooh, cool. The Encyclopedia of Religion, edited by Marcia whatever. Alchemy, Hermeticism, Astrology, Kabbalah, Initiation. Make or print copies for your notebook. Copy the chart and diagram in this chapter into your notebook under the appropriate headings. Reflect on what it is that you want to practice out of your alchemy. What is your motivation for undertaking this work? How will you know when you have achieved it? Write down your answers to these questions in your notebook. Okay, so yeah, when I got this book like 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, 2007, 8, no, maybe 9, yeah. I did all that, and I followed everything, and I reread things a million times. I haven't seen this book in a while, so just going through it over again, and this is just to kind of chit-chat and go through it all. But if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, and you want to go back and look at the diagrams and anyway, what was I saying? Something about the homework. Oh yeah, yeah, I did it when I first got the book and all that. But something in Alchemy 2 that I can bring up is what is it? Libre? No. Hold on. Aura. Lege, aura, that's in Vienna's. Yeah, so it's lege, relege, aura et in Vienna's, which is read, reread, study, meditate, and you will discover it. So basically, what that is saying is just like read a million times, reread shit, study, meditate upon it, think about it, pray upon it, read again, and you will discover it. So there is no harm in, I've done that plenty of times in my day, was to just read text, skim through text, reread things, study it a million times, start actually practicing doing some of the things, going back and reading things. So yeah, if you are interested in actually doing this stuff yourself, check out the link of the book. I highly recommend it. But this stream is just a chit chat about it if you're interested. So yeah. I honestly don't even notice it being that loud until I'm like streaming, and then I feel like, oh, I'm being interrupted. But like outside of that, I don't really care. Like hardly notice it really. I want to pee so bad, but I have a few minutes until the break. I think it should be break time, so I can go to the bathroom, make a coffee, And also, we hit a new part of the chapter to tackle, and I want to do that when we get back from the break instead of stop in the middle of this. So let's do that. Stick around, guys. A few more minutes. Also, just stick around for a few minutes. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the aesthetics. Chat with each other. Enjoy each other. Discuss the things that we're talking about. Also, don't forget to, if you want to help out, help me get to 45% by today. That would be fantastic. Thank you very much. But don't go anywhere. I hate when you guys leave me. Okay. Bye. Hey guys. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Sorry. I would have the commercials run longer if I could, but I don't like repeating it too many times. So, anyway. Have my coffee, cappuccino, and whatnot. Oh, I have to put my earrings back on. I think that I know you guys complain about it being really blown out, but I like it blown out, and I don't think it's blown out enough right now. See, that looks better. Now it looks bright in here. Oh, it's bright. It looks a little bit dark before. All right, where are we at? How are you guys doing? How you feeling? Let me try to find you. All right. Oh shit, yeah, I was supposed to drink water. I was gonna chug water. I was really thirsty, and then I just drank the cappuccino instead. Anyway, let's get back to it. How you guys doing? We're in here. Jay's in here. Jack's in here. Oh, Lemming's in here. Cool. Eduardo's in here. Nice to see you guys. Let's get back into it, shall we? You know what? It's this makeup too. This powder that I use. This powder that I use. It makes my nose runny, and I'm not allergic to anything, but I think I'm having like allergic tendencies with this like makeup powder. And it's this makeup powder that is Mayron. I don't know if you guys know Mayron makeup, but it's theater makeup. So if anyone does theater, you do plays, there's like when you go to like a theatrical store for theatrical makeup, it's just like super heavy duty white powder clown makeup. I absolutely love this stuff, and I get a really giant big jar for a few bucks that I've had for years, and I just replenish a smaller jar with it. And it's pretty much just made up of talc and zinc, and the zinc is good, but the talc is not so good, and there's just a bunch of other chemicals and things in there, and probably carcinogenics in there. But I use it, and if I use it around my nose, I get really runny. My nose gets runny every time, I've noticed. So yeah. I just wanted to sip my coffee for a minute before I read. Don't forget to send me $1, guys. $1. Maybe $5. That would be cool. Okay, basic Spagyrics. Chapter overview. There are the 3 essentials. Making a simple Spagyric tincture, inner and outer work of alchemy. The 3 essentials: sulfur, salt, and mercury. Alchemy sees nature as powerful, intelligent, and creative, but slow-moving in her evolution of self-consciousness. By carefully observing and imitating nature's methods, the alchemist is able to speed up the process of inner and outer evolution through the 3 realms of mineral, plant, and animal. Without violating any of nature's laws. For example, Left to herself, nature might take several million years to turn vegetable matter into oil, tar, coal, and finally a diamond. See, this is where I got that from. I've repeated that for years, and I've probably said it on my streams a million times, and I said it earlier on this stream, in fact. And this is the book that I got that from. Cool, cool. Exciting. So, okay, I'm not going crazy. I was like, is that right? I was like, I don't know if I'm just making that shit up. Okay, so nature might take several million years to turn vegetable matter into oil, tar, coal, and finally a diamond. While this is fine for nature, those lifespan whose lifespan is eternal, for a human being with a limited amount of time on Earth, such a process of waiting is impractical, and the human must obtain speedier methods if a diamond is desired for certain alchemical or Kabbalistic practices. Even if it is not a diamond that we need, but a tincture for healing purposes, we do not wait for a tree to fall and to be burrowed out to form a natural chalice, and then wait for the rain and wind to blow in the right blow the right leaves into it, creating a natural medicine that we can then wander through the forest and accidentally find. Instead, we pick our herbs, soak them, strain them, and drink our tea when it's done. The process is the same, only quicker and more efficient. So I love that. Does that make sense to you guys? Is my reading okay? Oh, you can't see the book. My bad. Oh, shit. Sorry. Let me get back to you. Okay, sorry. Checking in on you guys. Yeah, so does that make sense to you guys? So instead of like waiting for nature to make this medicine and for like all the right elements of nature to like happen to the particular medicines form that you need, and you walk into the forest and get it, you like pick the herbs and you do that shit and you speed up that process and you make nature happen faster. And that's what alchemy is about. It's about like speeding up the process of evolution, both physically and spiritually, and that is really cool. For the aspiring alchemist, the majority of work will take place in the plant kingdom. As the plants worked with are non-toxic, the temperatures are low, and the work carries the same technical risk as making dinner on a stovetop. If you can boil water, you can do plant alchemy. In alchemy, everything is composed of three parts: sulfur, soul or individualized essence, mercury, life force, and salt, physical body. So think about that again. Sulfur, in ancient alchemical texts and stuff, when you see sulfur, it also means soul or individual essence. Mercury, life force, and salt, physical body. It is the work of the alchemist to separate and recombine these three basic principles as often as necessary until they are in perfect proportion and harmony with each other. Really important stuff there. When this harmony is achieved, the creation of a stone or physical object used in the physical and spiritual transformation of the alchemist will result. Remember, the plant carries all that it needs to evolve. Although the process left to nature will be slow-moving, alchemists have a limited lifespan compared to the substances they work with. They seek to speed up the process of evolution in the plant and minerals they utilize, and in doing so, speed up their own evolution as well. This recognition of physical mortality, combined with the length of time needed to accomplish the great work, as it is called, led many alchemists to seek the elixir of life, so that by extending their lifespan, they could complete the task they had assigned themselves. Let me see what you guys are saying. All right. Yeah, you guys are chatting it up about the language of science and alchemy. Cool. When working with plants, the physical body of the plant itself is the salt. Its essential oils are the sulfur, and the alcohol, and additionally water, is the mercury. Thus, the aspiring alchemist seeks to separate these three parts and recombine them, giving rise to the word used by Paracelsus, Spagyrics, pronounced Spagyrics, in Greek for separate and recombine. Oh, and is the term given to plant work or lesser circulation? The greater circulation consists of metallic and mineral work. Its process follows the same principles as plant work, and it is generally undertaken only after a certain degree of plant mastery has been attained. Cool, yeah, separate and combine, man. And we got sulfur, salt, and mercury. The three essentials and the elements. Students familiar with the concept of the elements, or the foundational forces that give rise to creation, will find that the concepts represented by sulfur, mercury, and salt are already known to them, only under a different name. In alchemy, just as in Wicca, neo-paganism, or Kabbalah, we use the four elements to explain the relationship between energy and matter. These four elements are the foundation for all experiences, expressions of consciousness, and material manifestations. They exist on several levels, giving personal and impersonal expressions of their nature. Alchemy helps us to identify these levels, and in doing so, to achieve our goals. Again, the four elements, which I have been mentioning in all of these alchemy streams and saying this is going to come up over and over again for this filing cabinet. So let's see what they say about these elements again and the goals. So fire. In impersonal terms, fire is pure energy. That makes sense. Fire is pure energy. I mean, we can all understand that, right? The amount of energy fire has, creates, uses. Imagine it as an intense radiating sensation of heat that penetrates everything and transforms it. In personal terms, imagine fire as our spiritual seed, our drive towards the realization of self. So, the fire is also what they talk about when they talk about like a spark or any sort of fire lit under someone's ass. This fire. Air. In impersonal terms, imagine air as all things gaseous, expansive, and cohesive. Again, we've talked about this in past streams about the elements. Air is the cosmic mind in action, and it is the laws that the alchemist learns so that he or she can manipulate the elements within or without in order to create the philosopher's stone. In personal terms, imagine air as the theoretical framework of ideas and images that make accessible the transforming, yet seemingly chaotic and dangerous energy of fire. Wait, what? In personal terms, imagine air as the theoretical framework of ideas and images that make accessible the transforming, yet seemingly chaotic and dangerous energy of fire. Okay, so you're making the dangerous, chaotic energy of fire more accessible and putting it in a framework of ideas and images, and that's what air represents. Water, in impersonal terms, imagine water as all things liquid. Yeah, energy is transferred in a liquid state, be it water, rain, blood, hormones, or sexual fluids. Water is the practical means of expressing the energy of fire. It has been transferred by air, just as water ascends and descends through evaporation. Yeah, we're gonna get there. In personal terms, imagine elemental water as your personal bodily fluids and also the emotions that give force and energy to ideas, making them manifest materially. Earth, in impersonal terms, imagine elemental earth as all solid matter. Yeah, even subatomic matter. Yeah, and the elements. Earth is the etheric structure or invisible net of energy that gives rise to physical form, as well as being the actual form itself. In personal terms, imagine Earth as all things material and solid, your physical body, your etheric body, and things in your life. However, the elements do not exist in a vacuum. They are united in their common source or spirit, symbolized by an 8-spoked wheel. This spirit is a primordial form of energy consciousness that is utilized in magical rituals as well as in alchemy. Spirit expresses itself in two forms, one active, the other passive. The active energies of spirit give rise to the so-called active elements of fire and air, while the passive aspects of spirit give rise to the passive elements of water and earth. Fire and air are called passive because they are dominated by other forces and moved only when acted upon. Okay, these same basic ideas exist in alchemy and demonstrate the fundamental unity of nature that underlies all alchemical and magical work. According to alchemical cosmology, all of creation arises from a fundamental source of energy and consciousness known as chaos. This vast, unmanifested void of any form gives rise to two primary forms of expression, one active or energy and the other passive or matter. These correspond identically to the ideas of active and passive spirit energy just as described, which are used in modern Kabbalistic rituals. These two forms of fundamental energy, active and passive, then give rise to subdivisions within themselves, forming the four elements as we know them. These elements then recombine to create the three essentials of alchemy. Fire and air combine to form the self-arising consciousness of sulfur. Earth and water combine to form the material world and its etheric matrix, or salt. And air and water combine to form mercury, the medium that allows energy or matter to communicate with each other. Finally, it is through the alchemist's manipulation of these three essentials, separating them back into their principal parts and reassembling them, that he or she may undertake the alchemical work and achieve the philosopher's stone. Woo! So, that's a lot to go through, but you can read that shit yourself. But here's the graph for it, and there's the chaos. And again, I've mentioned, can you guys all see that? Oh, yeah, it's on the page to the left. So basically, that top where it says chaos and it has the circle with the cross through it. That's what I was trying to tell Jack when he was like kind of freaking out about some symbols. I was like, yo, Jack, that's an alchemy symbol. That's not some that's not a white nationalist thing. Calm down. It's alchemy too. Chill. It's the same thing. He was like freaking out about Golden Dawn. I'm like, nah, it's the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn by Israel Regardie. It has no relation to anything in Greece about Golden Dawn political. Nothing. No relation. But anyway, there's chaos, and that chaos actually has the four elements. See the cross? There's like four slices in there. And then it's like separating into two, the active and passive that they were talking about. And then out of those like active and passive, there's like the two elements. And out of those out of those elements, two on each side, four, then you get the three, salt, mercury, and sulfur, and all that together and shit, quintessence and the elixir or stone. The prima materia, solvet coagula, meaning separate and recombine, in a term you will hear repeatedly in alchemical work. Yep. I know it's weird, but just take it in. The magnetism stuff Martina mentioned before the break clicked somewhat when I thought about it through maths. Yeah, well, that's why I brought it up on the past streams before. I've mentioned that, and I've shown the way that the magnetic field of the Earth looks. And yeah, I've learned that in physics and stuff. But the way it looks and what I've learned in physics, why I recognize how it looks, I was like, that's what that ritual does. I was like, that's the same energy. Okay, so solve et coagula, meaning separate and combine, is a term you will hear repeatedly in alchemical work, and it is the key to all occult work. Alchemists are constantly separating and recombining the various essentials and elements of plants, minerals, and more importantly, themselves, to understand nature's hidden laws and how they work. Students of tarot see these words emblazoned on the arms of the Devil in the Worth and Wade decks, as well as other tarot decks derived from the Kabbalistic and alchemical symbols. It is good to write this motto down on a card and place it where you can easily see while you are doing your alchemical work. Just as the muscle of the human body grows stronger through the process of breaking down and building up, so do the powers of alchemical products grow more potent through an identical cycle of activity. This process is so fundamental to alchemy and to the plant experiment outlined here in particular that you should spend a considerable amount of time meditating on the ideas presented here. So yeah, the three you have salt. It's the body structure of the plant, and that's the symbol for it. It's the circle with the line through it. The soul essence, which is the consciousness, essential oils and the fragrances. That's the soul of it. And the spirit, the life force, is the alcohol. Now, think about it. When you go get alcohol at a liquor store, what is the liquor store usually called? It's usually some sort of wine and spirits, right? Spirit, alcohol. Spirit, alcohol. You're getting the life force from that herb and creating a spirit through alcohol. Alchemy. It's all alchemy when it comes down to it. All of it. Hold on a second. Okay, we got Infinity said, if you know something about field theory, you'll see how alchemy is kind of on track, but more vague, leading me to a previous opinion I wrote. Friend report, hey, what's up? You said, if you think about your heart is pumping a ferocious fluid throughout your body at a high rate of speed, so there's definitely field dynamics going on. Yeah, for sure. Yes, it's an art and a science, friend report. Art and a science. Oh, hey, we got Spooky in the house, Spooky T2I, and he gave $5. Thank you so much. Said, enjoying the stream while inking pages for my studio's comic. Off topic. You buy anything from the vintage show last week when I mid-key fanboyed? Oh, hey, what's up, Spooky? Nice to see you. Yeah, I bumped into this guy in Manhattan, actually, at some vintage showcase that was going on in Manhattan, and it was super cool. Yeah, I got, like, 2 things. I got a belt and some shoes. It's really lovely. I would show it to you, but, like, I don't want to slink into a belt right now. But, yeah, it was so nice bumping into someone in real life. It's really cool. You know what? I feel like now my life in New York is, like, round 2. Like, I got this shit already figured out. Like, when everything first happened to me, it was like I was living in Bushwick, so it was like super secretive about my politics. It was really strange. I was like in hiding everywhere. I was blacklisted. I was getting attacked. But now it's like part 2. I'm living somewhere different in part of the city, and I love it. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm chilling. I know everything. I already know everyone that hates me. They've already outed themselves. I have a new set of friends. And it's just like part 2, election style, New York City. let's make shit happen and have like a whole new thing going on. Dan, I was thinking about you before I streamed and during the stream, and you have now caught me at a tail end. You still have about another half an hour left, so don't worry. But you caught me at a tail end of an alchemy stream. We're doing alchemy again tomorrow, by the way. Inner alchemy. But I was thinking about you, and now you come in. And I even started super late today, so I was like, okay, they can't come in late being like, oh my god, you're streaming, because like I'm really late today. So no, it's okay. Cool, nice to see you in here. But yeah, check out the earlier part of the stream later, maybe. But let's get into it again. The three essentials: salt, mercury, and sulfur. While we can gain much from the theoretical study of Spagyrics, only the actual conducting of experiments will we attain any meaningful degree of insight and growth. For this reason, the following experiments allow would-be alchemists to try it for themselves without a heavy instrument and laboratory experiment during their trial period. The methods given and the time for completion reflect the simple low-tech approach. However, with the proper glassware and heat source, you can dramatically reduce the time required. Experiments for the beginning student of the art. Yay, guys! Isn't this exciting? We're studying outer alchemy. We're doing the physical, practical alchemy stuff. It's not all theoretical up in here. The production of Spagyrics, a plant tincture, is the first and easiest of all operations. It requires no special equipment and can be done by anyone, anywhere, needing only patience and perseverance as its primary tool. Here's an example of a tincture made from lemon balm. Melissa officinalis. I like to see the Latin words for things. Although any plant can be used, you must research plant toxicity prior to working with or ingesting any plant, herb, or part thereof. While often the entire plant can be consumed, in some instances there are plants whose leaves and seeds are safe but whose roots are toxic. Even though the herb most commonly used are non-toxic, always check to make sure that the plant you are working with is safe to ingest and that you will not have any allergic reactions to working with it. Good note. Solid note. For each operation, you will need 1 ounce of dried herb. Unless otherwise stated, the bulk herb will consist of mostly leaves, some stems. I feel like we're talking about weed here. And occasionally the roots of the plant. If you are unsure as the content, either ask the herbalist or you are purchasing from, or grow your own and pick it yourself. By growing your own herbs, you will know positively the identity of the plant. While very few people die each year from plant misidentification, while wild crafting, picking plants in the wild, it does one no good to chance being among the dozen or so that do make that fatal error. Be safe, buy it dried, or grow it yourself from a well-identified seed or seedling purchased from a reputable supplier. If dried herbs are not available, fresh plants may be substituted. Alchemists have personal preferences as to when and where to use fresh versus dried plants. Experience will help you sort this out later. For this experiment, either will suffice. In addition, you will need 4 to 8 ounces of pure grain alcohol. In some states, purchasing grain alcohol is illegal, and in others, very strong 190 proof or 95% pure alcohol is available. The more common 180 proof is sufficient and is often used in plant work for beginners. If neither of these is available, you can substitute vodka or distilled alcohol from red wine or strong brandy. Note, distilling alcohol from wine may be also illegal in some states. Check if you think this may be a problem. You will need a wide mouth jar, such as one used in canning, along with its lid, plastic food wrap, aluminum foil, and fine mesh plastic filter or coffee filters, and a funnel. A mortar and pestle are optional but desired. A coffee grinder is also helpful. And here's a checklist. 1 ounce of dried or fresh herb, 4 to 8 ounces, 180 or 190 proof alcohol. Substitute vodka or distilled wine or brandy if not available. Wide mouth canning jar and lid, plastic food wrap for Sealing the lid, aluminum foil for wrapping when completed. Fine mesh plastic filter or coffee filters and funnel, mortar and pestle, and or clean coffee grinder. Suggested plants and their ruling planets. The plants you should have are horsetail for Saturn, lemon balm Jupiter, basil Mars, eyebright Sun, lady's mantle Venus, fennel Mercury, and watercress Moon. An additional plant to have is sundew, especially for traveling, as it is said to contain the powers of all 7 planets and thereby reduces the number of tinctures you need to carry with you. So they have like this little chart of like these herbs and days. So you see Saturday is Saturn, and that's power is stability, and its physical organ is the spleen, and this herb is horsetail, and it has its Latin name. Sunday is the sun, self-awareness, the heart, eyebright. Monday, moon, psychic development, brain and brainstem, watercress. Tuesday, Mars, energy, gall, and basil. Wednesday, Mercury, intonation and communication, throat, thyroid, fennel. Thursday is Jupiter, assimilation, lungs or stomach, lemon balm. Friday, Venus, harmony, kidneys, lady's mantle. So, we're getting into the experiments. We're about to make some elixirs. I'm just reading your comments. All right. Are you guys excited to get into the alchemy? All right, fine. Basic Spagyric tincture. I hate these 2 words. I absolutely hate these 2 words. From the moment that I've ever read them in this book, I was like, why? Terrible. Okay, 1. Read all instructions that follow several times and familiarize yourself with each step that you need to undertake. Remember, safety first when working with Spagyrics or alchemical experiments or products. Safety first, people. 2. Begin the operation in the planetary hour of the ruling planet of the herb. Damn. So, planetary hour of the ruling planet of the herb. Yeah. While planetary hours come several times a day for each planet, the first and often easiest begins with a few minutes of sunrise on the day of the ruling planet. Since Melissa, lemon balm, is ruled by Jupiter and Jupiter rules Thursday, the first planetary hour of Jupiter would occur immediately after sunrise on Thursday. Start with a prayer to God that the mysteries may be revealed to you and your place in the universe restored. Love that. Love that. So again, when people freak out about alchemy, just listen to this. Start with a prayer to God that the mysteries may be revealed to you and that your place in the universe restored. That's basically my comic book. Spend a few minutes on this and do not rush through it. This sets up your entire reason for undertaking this practice and is the intention or act of will that sets everything in motion. It is this initial prayer that separates your experiment from vulgar chemistry and makes them something spiritual. Do you get that? So we're doing this thing and we're making this elixir and we're doing it on the certain planetary hours with certain herbs and we're making something that's like an herbal elixir. But the most important thing is starting this prayer to God with this intention on this thing, and that is what sets the whole thing in motion. And your energy is now being connected to this thing that you're working on. And that's what alchemy is, and that's why it's different than... And you know what? Maybe sometimes chemistry or scientists do that, but they're doing it on a personal level, and they're not documenting this connection with their spirit and their energy with the object. That's just purely removed from that. But I think some people like spiritually do get involved in their projects, and it does have an effect whether or not they're documenting it. Um, damn, this cappuccino is making me want to go to the bathroom again. Okay, where are we? Number 4, take the herb and begin grinding it by hand in small quantities in the mortar and pestle. Make as fine a powder as possible, focusing on the idea that you are releasing the divine power of the herb as well as within yourself through the work. If you do not have enough time to grind all of the herb by hand, or you have a part that is too tough, such as seed or root, then grind it partially in the coffee grinder. It is important that you spend time with the herb and keep it in physical contact with you so that it may receive beneficial contact with your energy field or aura. If you must grind it entirely by machine, then place it in a mortar afterwards and grind it with the pestle anyhow, focusing on developing the energetic relationship between yourself, the herb, the planet ruling it, and the planet's counterparts in your psyche and body. So yeah, basically this is an important aspect too of like working with the herb, is actually like touching it and breaking it apart with your hands. I personally always like doing that instead of using a grinder when we're talking about another particular herb. But with all things, yeah, I think it's good to get your energy and your aura into it. Same with cooking, kind of like get your energy into it. I like to be clean, so it's like, I'm like weird about touching things too much, but yeah, getting your essence into it instead of using a machine as much as possible is best. And thinking about your intention. I think that's also what I do with cooking. It's like this intention, this love that I'm trying to give into it. When the powder is finished, place it into the jar and pour the grain alcohol over the herb until it is saturated with fluid, and then add an additional amount equal to what is in the container, 2 or 4 fingers of like alcohol, like a little extra in the jar. The jar should not be more than 1/2 to 2/3 full of fluid at most, as room will be needed for expansion as the contents heat up and the maceration process. The fluid inside will evaporate as it heats and then condense, as it is not capable of escaping. This will cause the fluid to get darker with each passing day. This coloration or tincture is the extraction of the sulfur, sole property, from the salt, physical plant matter, by the mercury, alcohol medium. Cover the mouth of the jar with plastic wrap prior to sealing it tightly with the lid so that neither the fluid nor its vapor touch any metal. Wrap the jar in foil to prevent exposure to light and place it somewhere warm. Shake it vigorously once or twice a day. Continue this process for 7 to 14 days until the color of the tincture is dark. However, it is not uncommon to allow the tincture to sit for 40 days in alchemical month. Get it? 40 days and 40 nights, like someone else you might know. Just checking in on you guys. All right. Oop. That's it. 7 steps, and you have begun the process of making a basic Spagyric tincture that will be helpful to you physically and spiritually. Oh my god. But remember, this is your philosophical child, and it must be treated with love and respect. Each time you handle it for inspection, for shaking, or in any fashion, remember that it is a physical representation of your soul personality. Treat it no differently than you would treat a small animal, a child, or house guest. As you separate the sulfur from the murky sludge of the herbal mass, so are you separating the soul from the constraints of physical life and incarnation. Just as the soul of the plant is what distinguishes it from other plants, so your soul, your consciousness, and your inner impulse to realize yourself is what separates you from other human beings. In this manner, it is the soul of the alchemist that impacts the changes the soul of the plant and the tincture. It is the attitude of the operator, more than the process itself, that makes alchemy divine. This attitude is literally transferred to the matter being acted upon, just as if it were a patient receiving magnetic or spiritual healing. When the final product is then consumed, we are taking into ourselves a veritable consumable talisman, like that which is suggested by Christian Mass, through which our body, salt, and blood, mercury, are regenerated to receive the spiritual power of the plant, sulfur. Each time we repeat the process of solve et coagula, we are regenerated by minute degrees and brought closer to perfection. Love that. I love the relationship too with like Christianity, with like alchemy, and they kind of like show you the connection in a different way of the faith. It's like, oh yeah, like wow, that makes Mass actually even cooler. Like I get it. I get the purpose of it on a deeper level now. Brandon Johnson said, this is similar to making fire cider, especially the part about not touching metal. Yeah, I thought that's an interesting bit too. The metal bit I always remembered. But yeah, I mean, making cider, distilling any sort of alcohol or anything, that's the alchemist created that process. So, I mean, this is it. This is where it comes from. But yeah, I love that. When the final product is consumed, we are taking into ourselves a veritable consumable talisman. That's what it is. You're putting your energy, you're starting this process by putting your energy into this like thing that you're working on, and then every time you handle it, you're charging it with your energy, and you're putting an intent and focus and energy into it, and you are creating a talisman, and then you're ingesting it. I mean, just think about that. That is so cool. I love it. What do we do when the tincture is complete? After the color of the liquid is sufficiently dark, pour it into a clean jar that can be sealed. Be careful to strain or filter the tincture through either a plastic fine mesh strainer or coffee filter placed inside a funnel. To maximize your efforts, press the remaining fluid from the plant matter through the screen over the filter-lined funnel. The filter will catch any plant matter or particles that might be forced through the strainer and prevent it from mixing with the tincture. On close examination under light, you will see that small amounts of fine sand-like particles will flow through with the tincture, but for now we can ignore them rather than replace our commercial over-the-counter coffee filters with laboratory-grade paper filters. Right now, our concern is to separate the fluid from the solid matter as best as we can. For the purpose of getting started and getting results that will encourage us to move into more complex areas of alchemical work, this will be sufficient. This tincture now contains the sulfur, the essential oils, waxes, and vegetable fats, and the mercury, alcohol, and some water of the lemon balm. This tincture is identical to any basic herbal product you could make or purchase in a grocery or health food store. What will transform it into a genius spagyric or herbal alchemical product is the addition of the process of coagula. We have separated the plant soul or sulfur from the body or salts. That is the process of solve or dissolution. Now we must add the two together again in some form. But for the resurrection of the plant to be complete, its body or salt must be purified and made ready to receive the increase in energy. To do this, we use the alchemical's chief tool, fire. Fire is the energetic expression of the universe. Of the four elements common to Wicca, Neo-Paganism, Kabbalah, and Hermeticism, fire is the only one that completely transform and regenerate. This process is known as calcination, and it turns the wet, dark matter of the plant into a white or grayish-white powder ready for use in the next step of the process. How exciting! Calcination is about to happen! We just separated the plant matter! Oh yeah, oil of clove tincture is commonly used to treat pain, especially tooth pain. Yeah, I remember using clove oil when I've had dental pain before, and yeah, it's really interesting stuff. clove. Very strong stuff. All right, guys, by the way, don't forget, time is running out. I'm about to get out of here in like 15 minutes. And I need this to get to 45%, all right? 45% today. Help me out. Okay. Calcination. Up until now, the process of making tinctures has been relatively safe and has not involved an open flame. While alcohol burns at a slow temperature, it is important to follow some simple safety guidelines when calcinating herbal materials so that you may avoid injuries or damage to property. Equipment needed: a Pyrex bowl or container, preferably with a lid, metal rod for stirring the mass to turn the fire so it keeps burning, heat-proof or fireproof surface to rest the bowl on while the plant matter is burning, hot pads or gloves to handle the containers when the process is complete, mortar and pestle, additional alcohol for repeating the process, plastic or metal scoop for handling the cool ashes, container that can be tightly sealed to place the ash in after the process is completed. Safety tips: to protect against sudden changes in wind that may cause the flames to flare up when initially started. It is common to calcinate in a barbecue, brick fireplace, or cinder block fire pit, like those often used to cook outdoors in the spring and summer. Some alchemists calcine in the less populated areas of public parks where fire pits and cooking areas are common. It is also a good idea to keep your container's lid handy in case you need to smother the flames. In the rare and unusual event that burning material actually spits, do not panic. Simply smother it with baking soda, sand, a large wet towel, or a fire extinguisher. A panic attack under these circumstances is far more dangerous than the size or heat of an actual fire if you are working with one of the fire-resistant or fireproof areas mentioned. So, the calcination process, how exciting. Number 1 is read the entire set of instructions several times before proceeding. Number 2, take the plant mass, or feces, also called the caput mortem, or the deadhead, and ignite it in a heat resistance container. This is best done. God, I wish we could do this right now. This is what Outer Alchemy needs to be doing. I need to set up a lab, and I want to do this right now so bad. I want to calcinate the caput mortem so bad. And it's best to do this outside, as the burning will produce a great deal of smoke. For this operation, a large, deep glass container used for baking is ideal. Metal can also be used here, as our concern is with the ashes. Any residual tincture in the plant mass is being used to fuel the fire and will be lost. Again, the smoke released from the burning plant residue will be significant. As such, if you do it inside, make sure that the exhaust fan on your stove is functioning. As the feces burns, be sure to turn it with your metal rod. You may gently fan or blow on it to keep the fire going or to make the coals hotter. However, if you choose to do this, you must take extreme care and should wear protective eyewear. Number 4, after the salts have cooled, take your pestle and grind them to a fine powder. They will still be black and will contain only a few specks of white or grayish white. Mix in some alcohol until the ashes are slightly damp, then ignite the mixture and begin the process again. Do this several times, being sure to grind the powder as fine as possible between each ignition. As you do this, you will notice the amount of ash is considerably reduced with each incineration. After the 3rd or 4th round, when the amount of lighter ash has increased, take the matter, the salt, and place it in a heat-proof dish, covered if possible. Heat it in an oven at 500 or more degrees Fahrenheit until all of it is turned to a great white powder. Oh, we got a subscriber. Nice, nice. Ooh, shit. What am I doing? Okay. Where are we? When it turns gray or white in the oven, better still to completely white powder. Frequently grinding of the salt even during this phase will assist in this process. Remember, the finer the particles during the maceration process, the more sulfur extracted. The finer the particles during the calcination process, the easier it is for the gray, white, or white stages of purification. Number 6, after the salts have turned as white as you feel possible, place them in a glass jar that can be tightly sealed with sealed while the salts are still warm. This will keep them from absorbing moisture from the air as they cool. Clearly mark the jar with the planetary symbol of the plant you are working with. One plant for each of the planets. If you have more than one herb for a given planet, be sure to mark the name of the plant on the container's label. If you are eager to test your Spagyric product, place a few grains of your tincture salts in a teaspoon of the tincture that has been added to the glass of distilled water. This should occur during the planetary hour of the planetary day, ruling that herb, and in this case, lemon balm, Thursday. If the salts are very pure, they will dissolve, or at least dramatically reduced in the tincture and water. Spend a few minutes in a relaxed state after drinking the tincture. You may not feel the effects immediately, but they may arise during periods of meditation or sleep, or in other ways across the day. Being familiar with the various ideas of life under the influence of each of the planets will help you notice these effects when they take place. While the salts need not be consumed with the tincture, they will assist in the overall effects in the operation as they provide the third essential or leg of the alchemical product. It is important to use distilled water as the energetic traces in Spagyric products are pulled towards the salts or matter to become fixed, just as water is absorbed by a sponge. Trace minerals in normal bottled or tap water will draw off a minute amount of the tincture's energy. This is, however, only a small amount and should not prevent anyone from undertaking the experiment. Once consumed, a feedback loop of energy and increased consciousness is set up within the alchemist's body. This further purifies the material body, salt, of the alchemist, just as the material body, salt, of the plant was purified. With a decrease in blockages, more energy is released within the alchemist's body, making psychic experiments and activities easier to conduct. While the effects of plants are strong, they must be adapted into stages. Regular consumption of Spagyric products is common for students who have yet to begin working with minerals. Those effects are more powerful and longer lasting. Do not make the mistake of thinking that you could revert to an earlier stage. Know only that the energy potential of plants is more limited, and therefore the alchemist using them must fill up the psychic gas tank more often than if he were utilizing mineral products. The distance traveled under their power, however, remains the same. Above all, remember the sacredness of the operations you have performed. Its intent is regeneration physically, psychologically, and spiritually through the assistance of the tincture as a manifestation of your spiritual power. Some alchemists combine this aspect of the work with Kabbalistic or astrological invocations, similar to what is done for talismans to intensify the desired effect. In the next chapter, we will examine the preparation of the Ens tincture, another simple and highly beneficial experiment. Following that, we will explore the preparation of plant stone. Ooh, plant stone. Key points. Alchemy bridges the spiritual and material, uniting them through a manipulation of etheric energies under the direction of the attitude of the alchemist. Everything in alchemy is composed of three parts known as essentials or principles, which are sulfur, soul, mercury, life force, and salt, material matrix. These three essentials are composed of four elements, all of which arise out of the primordial void known as chaos or Heil. These three... Need water. Seltzer gang. These three essentials are separated and recombined, solvent coagula, to perfect their expression. The number of cycles of separation and recombining need to restore harmony between the elements is traditionally 7 repetitions. Spagyric products are a consumable talisman. Cool! I love that. The fundamental practice of plant and mineral work are the same, only their kingdoms are different. So it's like as you learn these things, it's the same. It's kind of like calculus. So it's like there's Calc 1 and then there's Calc 2 and Calc 3 or whatever, but it's like all the calcs are kind of the same, but just like, no, it's kind of like Calc 3 is the same thing as Calc 1 and 2, but just like a different axis. There's like an additional axis, a plane there. Oh, now that seltzer is going to make me burp. The number of cycles of separation and recombination to restore. 7 repetitions. Consumable talismans. The fundamental practices of plant and mineral work are the same, only their kingdoms are different. Alchemical practice can be seen as having 3 parts: the work of the head, the work of the heart, and the work of the hands. The work of the head is the technical, philosophical material that we must learn to follow. The work of the hands is the application of these ideas in the laboratory setting. The work of the heart is the synthesis of our expression in meditation and prayer, which is critical to being a successful alchemist. So, general assignments for chapter 2. So the assignment for chapter 1 was to look over and make sure you understand all those charts and those graphs about things, and also to get a journal, which is funny because I went to the 99-cent store today and I got some paper and markers, and I'm so excited about. I love my markers and papers. And anyway, so general assignments for chapter 2 is make several drawings for meditation and use your work area. They should include 1, the 3 essentials, 2, the tree of life, 3, chaos, and 4, the philosopher's stone. 2, obtain or draw an illustration of Thoth, Hermes, or a famous alchemist who inspires you, such as Saint Germain, Cagliostro, Paracelsus, Maria the Jewess, or Nicholas Flamel and his wife Peronelle, and place them in your work area when studying or performing experiments. Love that. Or you can have like Jesus or some shit up. Same thing. Study the chart on planetary hours in Appendix A and calculate the hours for 1 week. Collect the needed supplies to make a basic tincture for each of the 7 ancient planets, as well as sundew for the planet Earth. Reread this chapter and outline the process for making a tincture in your notebook. Begin each tincture on its planetary day. Note the date, time, planetary hour, and phase of the moon in which you started your experiment. Sundew can be started on Saturday during either the first or second planetary hour of Saturn. This would be super exciting to do with you guys live. Do some laboratory experiments. I love it. Okay. Meditation practices for chapter 2. Just as alchemy has 3 essentials of sulfur, mercury, and salt, we can examine the 3 principal tools used by the aspiring alchemist as having 3 parts as well. Alchemy is often called the work of the head, the heart. Oh wait, did we just read that? Oh yeah, no, I just read it above, but this is different. Okay, just as alchemy has 3 essentials, we have alchemy is often called the work of the head, the heart, and the hands. The head refers to the ideas that must be learned, memorized, and meditated upon, as well as the instructions that must be followed for each step of the process. Alchemy requires the ability to use reason, formulate possible solutions, and reflect upon what actions have been undertaken and why. The hands refer to the actual physical actions taken in a laboratory or in a work with raw materials and transforming them into a finished product. The heart is the method of meditation, inner listening, and awakening intuition that all students must learn to rely upon if they are to enter into the realm of genuine transformation. That is, the making of superior plant or mineral products, and have extraordinary healing powers, unexplainable by known laws, and ability to initiate both their creator and others into deeper realms of the soul. Oh, jeez. I wanted to finish this up, but there's a lot going on. Let me see where we're at with you guys. Ah, where'd you go? Okay, there you are. All right, yeah, it's been yeah, it's been 2 hours, guys. So I don't know. Maybe I should wrap this chapter up. But if I'm not getting any super chats Why am I like even doing this? So let's see. I might just finish this chapter up. Fine. Where did I leave off? Okay. This book is designed to give each student sufficient tools which to undertake the work of the head, the heart, and the hands, and thereby become a practicing alchemist. Each chapter contains intellectual study, meditative practices, and practical experiments that are to be carried out so that students who follow these instructions develop their various levels of consciousness in a harmonious manner. Remember, to be a genuine alchemist, you must actually transmute your consciousness and be able to demonstrate its reality to yourself by transmuting something in the material world. While this is often makes references to turning lead to gold, it is sufficient to say that on a lesser level, creating a powerful healing product will also qualify. To paraphrase Paracelsus, we only transmute without that which we have first transmuted within. Meditation is the primary tool for undertaking the work of the heart, and in the light of Paracelsus' view, is ultimately critical for success in alchemical practices. Traditionally, alchemy would be practiced only after a long period of study in Kabbalah, astrology, and the fundamentals of Hermeticism. This training would take place either under the direct supervision of a practicing adept or in a lodge setting, and would be part of a graded series of initiations and degrees taking place over several years, if not decades. The high point of alchemical lodges came in the highest point when alchemical lodges were doing their thing came in the 18th century, when the German-based Order of the Gold and Rosy Cross was the focal point of European alchemical practices. Several of its documents have survived to the present day, along with a summary of the material covered in its degrees. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, and later used the names and titles of these degrees in Kabbalistic-based systems of initiatic degrees. To begin the inner phase of alchemical work, it is suggested that you spend 10 to 20 minutes a day for 10 to 14 days on each meditation listed below. Meditation, the basics. All right, guys. Ready to let me guide you into a guided meditation? Are you ready, Jay, for my voiceover appearance? This guided meditation? Let's see. Where is it? I'm trying to find you guys. Oh, it's all right, Dan. Oh, you guys I made you guys feel bad about not giving me any money. No, it's fine. It's fine. I get it. I'm broke too. It's fine. I'm begging for money. This is what I'm doing for work. I'm a beggar now. Oh, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I appreciate the love either way. Brandon Johnson, you have $2. Thank you. He said, "Are you familiar with fire cider? Check ingredients." I am not, actually. I am not familiar with it. Let's see. Fire cider. Oh, it looks cool. Oh, very nice. Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll check that out. It looks delicious, actually. Fuck, that looks so good. I do have some apple cider vinegar in the kitchen. Sometimes I do shots of them. I do random shots of apple cider vinegar or maple syrup. You know what? I might do the guided meditation next time, because that's a whole thing. And I think it'd be a really good intro for next time. Just get right into a meditation and then study alchemy. I think that'd be awesome. Oh, Artemisia, hey, what's up? She's in here.
I'd rather send through PayPal, but here's a superheat face blowing a kiss.
Oh, hey, Wonder Girl 60s. Thank you so much. Oh my God, you're way too kind to me. Really, really appreciate it. Um, yeah, no, Super Chat works. Super Chat works, but, you know, I mean, PayPal works, Super Chat works, PayPal. I really appreciate that you know enough to send me through PayPal so that YouTube doesn't take a third cut of it. So thank you for that. I always really appreciate it. And Artemisia, £5. Thank you so much. And said, missing your castle backgrounds. Oh shit, yeah. Maybe I'll try to bring it back. The only thing is, my background right now, as you know, as you can see, I don't have a green screen. I don't use a green screen, but a green screen. So, it's a bit difficult, but maybe I can just like cut a frame and make it look like I'm like a picture somewhere. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like cool things to do with framing this stuff. Some interesting things. So I'll think about it. I'm gonna spit out the seltzer. Yeah, I'm really thank you guys. You guys are really sweet. Yeah, no, Patreon works, and so does the Streamlabs, the link below, the Super Chats, all of it. No worries, don't put yourself in a situation just to give to me, but, you know, this is what I'm doing for work right now, so it's nice to every day have, like, a certain part capped off and leveled off and ready to, like, hit that mark, that goal, so that I can survive in New York City. So that's, I don't know, that's what I'm trying to do. I have to figure out how to get some Lady Alchemy gigs, but I'll sort it out. Thanks, Tyler Preston. He said this stream is 100 times more entertaining than Birds of Prey. I don't even know what Birds of Prey is. I've been hearing it a lot lately. Is that, like, I don't know, that's like some sort of movie or something? Or video game? Oh, thank you, Eduardo. That means a lot. Yeah, Mr. Snickers, I'm back in the city. I'm here. Well, I'm about to log off in a minute, but, like, yeah, I'm back in the city. Very excited and happy about that. And, yeah. Dude, come to BC, I'll teach you masonry. Yeah. But I thought the Sonic movie came out like last year. What the shit is up with the Sonic stuff? Oh, that's right. Black Pill Yellow. Oh my god. Black Pill Yellow. That's the funniest fucking name, dude. Holy shit. Are you Asian? You better be Asian. Black Pill Yellow. Fuck, man. Fuck, that's hilarious. Yeah, cooking is pretty much alchemy. I explain it like that too. Yeah, get it, Jay? Red pill black. Black pill yellow. Fuck. So funny. Dude, black pill yellow is like my new favorite thing. I need you in my life. Like, hit me up on Twitter. Get at me. How do people forget about Red Pill Black? That's Candace Owens. She changed her name when she got outed as being like a fucking leftist fraud, and then she went to her real name. Alright, I gotta go to the bathroom, and it's been a while. I'm gonna get out of here. We're gonna start next week with a guided meditation, and then get into it. Alright, yeah, hit me up on IG then. I'm Martina Markota, or, you know. lady underscore alchemy. But yeah, Martina Markota, hit me up. You look hilarious. Black pill yellow is amazing. But yeah, tomorrow we're gonna do alchemy, but it's going to be, what the fuck? This looks like a tick. Oh no, it's a fly. It's a little fruit fly thingy. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be inner alchemy. We're gonna get into the spiritual stuff. I hope you guys are seeing the difference and enjoying the outer alchemy stuff. That's gonna be next week. We're gonna get right into the guided meditation and get back into it. But yeah, tomorrow, inner alchemy. Then you guys have the weekend, and I hope I make it to 50% by tomorrow. And then we have the weekend, back to Sunday streaming on etiquette. I hope you guys have fun. The inner stuff, oh, excuse me, God, that seltzer, I just burped. Yeah, the inner stuff is what you're interested in, Dan Smitham. Okay, yeah. The inner stuff is fun. That's, like I said, reading is mostly about the inner stuff. You definitely have to focus on the inner stuff for a while before you even, like, actually perform any physical alchemy. But, yeah, inner stuff is really exciting. I love it. All right. Bye, guys. Love ya. See you tomorrow.